Hi, our group is demoing the Twitter package. It's a powerful tool that allows R to interact with the Twitter API. It also is useful for analyzing data that relates to many parts of Twitter.
So here's how to start using the Twitter R package once you've installed it and open up your library. You're going to have to visit this website right here, and it will take you to a page that looks like this, where you need to create a new app for Twitter authentication of your own account. And the most important thing, you can fill out anything in these fields, to be honest, but you need to have this as your callback URL because it will help you authenticate later. And once you create your Twitter application, you're going to need to access these two things, which are your consumer key and your consumer secret, which is a little bit longer. It looks like this. And then you're going to need to copy and paste those and input those into your R under the setup Twitter OAuth function. And then after that, you'll be authenticating your account and you can search anything on Twitter. So now we can start exploring the search Twitter function, and for any keyword such as Donald Trump, we can return a list of statuses that contain that keyword within a certain geocode. And this geocode happens to be for downtown San Luis Obispo with a radius of 15 miles. And this n equals 10 means we get 10 tweets returned. And we can increase the number of tweets by increasing the value n, but this will increase the runtime significantly. And note that the geocode can be looked up for any location of your choice, but with a quick Google search. And the retry on rate limit argument will block a retry up to one time if the rate limit is experienced. Setting this argument equal to a positive value will increase runtime, but if a high enough, then the function will eventually complete depending on the other arguments. What's important to note is that the search Twitter function returns a list of statuses from which we can obtain user information and use it in a pretty cool way. So let's say we are marketing a tennis product and wanted to use Twitter to advertise for users who have tweeted about tennis in the San Luis Obispo area. We can use the search Twitter function to find all tweets mentioning the keyword tennis within a 15-mile radius of downtown SLO. We can save the results in a vector called tennis. This gives us a list of tweets, and to access the usernames of each tweet, use a for loop and save them to a new vector called tennis users. And this saves all the screen names of those who mention tennis in a vector variable, and now you can do whatever you want to advertise your product to these specific users.
I'm going to be talking about the getTrends command. The getTrends command basically will display trending phrases and hashtags on Twitter for certain locations of the world. getTrends is associated with three functions. These are available trend locations, closest trend locations, and getTrends. The first two commands are used with getTrends. The first command, available trend locations, gives you a data frame that has a list of countries and cities and countries with an associated ID. The IDs can then be used in the getTrends command. So here I save the data frame available trend locations, and then I'm going to display the first 6 locations, which are right here. And then the longer list, I knew what San Francisco was, and I saved that, and it had the ID 2487956. I also decided to find which location was actually closest to San Luis Obispo. I used closest trend locations with our latitude and longitude, and it turned out to be Fresno, so I saved that. And lastly is getTrends, which is what the actual command is made for. And it takes an ID, and then if possible, you're allowed to exclude hashtags, which in my example, I did not exclude hashtags. So I used Fresno's ID, and I found getTrends, and they came out to be religious 80s bands, ALDS, Pray for Florida, Rally Together, and If I Had a Pet Dragon, and lastly, Matt Drudge.
Alright, the next function we're going to be showing off is the user timeline function, which allows us to grab a user's latest tweets. For this example, we're going to be working with the National Football League Twitter account. So after grabbing the NFL's latest tweets, we can place them in a data frame using the twlistedDF function. And after doing this, we can grab specific information about the tweets. For example, we're going to grab information like the number of retweets each tweet got and the date created. Then we can plot these variables against each other, creating the following graph. And looking at this graph, we can see that the highest retweeted tweets occurred on Thursday and Tuesday. This is expected because of Thursday Night Football and power rankings that the NFL usually releases on Tuesday.